Welcome to UseWise channel. My name is Mladen Baranek. I work as a Chief Technical Officer at Miadria. Today I will show you how you can use Google Cloud Data Preparation tool in order to explore, clean and enrich your data. First we will create our development environment. Now we'll go to BigQuery. Now we shall create Ecommerce dataset. So we have to click Create Dataset. This is the dataset we will fill in with the data from Google Store that we can analyze afterwards. Okay, so now we have a data store ready. And we have to fetch data from Marketing Analytics public dataset. So we are currently running query and we created new table that contains data to be analyzed by data preparation tool. So here we can see fields, and this is basically kind of a log from a website. So now we are starting data preparation tool. Since it's a third-party tool, we have to accept terms of Trifacta. And after a minute or so, we'll be able to analyze data we put in BigQuery dataset. So now we can connect data preparation Trifacta tool with our BigQuery. So let us wait a second. Okay, we are allowing access. We'll keep default storage location for our data. When we will export data from data preparation, we will use that default storage location. Great. So now we are in data preparation tool by Trifacta, and we can create new flow that will fetch data from our BigQuery dataset, and we will make overview and analysis of data using Dataprep tool. So it will take kind of a snapshot, only a small amount of data will be presented to us at start, and we will be able to see columns, and some basic data about every column in dataset. So let us connect Dataprep with BigQuery dataset. We'll select BigQuery and Ecommerce. Now the data we imported into Ecommerce will become available. So we can see we have 32 columns and 57k rows. So import and add to flow. We can see a short preview of data we will be importing. Okay, now we are ready to start analysis and enrichment of the data. First we can analyze data, and then we can gradually build recipe with actions to be taken on specific columns, and we can improve and enrich our data set. So now we will prepare data for analysis. So we are loading all sessions from some sessions from BigQuery data store in data preparation tool, and suddenly we can see for each column type of a column, distribution, and a lot of other very useful data. So we'll start with analyzing. We can see channel grouping referrals. We can see how many categories we have under that column. We can see also that almost 80% of our customers are coming from US. So there is also ability to go deeper and see more data. So now we'll start preparing our first recipe. Okay, so we will analyze time on site, and we can see distribution of data, but how what is the minimum maximum time spent on a website, what is average time, and we can see a full histogram. Yeah. So we immediately in data preparation tool can get a lot of information that can help us improve on quality of our data set. So we can see red line, meaning we have a mismatch in the column. So obviously we have a mixture of string and numeric values in the column, and we would like them all to be string value. So we are going to change product SKU type to string in order to have uniform a type of product SKU. So now that we said that the numbers should be treated as strings as well, everything is okay. But this can be very handy if you have some constraints within the data set. So there will be indications with the red part of the bar showing where is the problem inside the column. So we created first step of our new recipe to manage BigQuery data set. We are going to change product SKU type to string. So it was before it was no, integer. Now we can try to see how we can improve our data set more. So there are number of columns that are null, so we can basically delete them. So item quantity and item revenue we can add to our recipe that we don't want to have those columns in a final result. So now when we look at the recipe, we can see that we have two more actions deleting specific columns that contain only null values. Now let us see how we can improve our data set even more. So we till now basically cleaned our data. Now we'll try to see whether we can remove duplicate rows. So let us see if we can improve quality of our data by just removing duplicate rows, and let us add that to our recipe. Okay, so now we will remove all duplicate rows, and let us filter out sessions without revenue. So we are not interested in sessions that did not generate any conversion and they don't have any transaction revenue. So we'll try to find under total transaction revenue missing values, and yeah, here we can see there are quite a few, and we will add to our recipe to delete rows where transaction revenue is zero, null. Okay, so we can see that we have for total transaction revenue we have 9,000 rows with null value, and now we'll add to our recipe action to delete rows with missing values. Cool. and we can also filter sessions to include only page views. So if we logged events, we are not interested in events. We would like resulting dataset to include only pages, not events. So we selected a page and said keep rows where we have only a page category. Now we can enrich the data in a sense that we don't have unique ID for our session. So we can combine two values, full visitor ID and visit ID, in order to create a unique ID for each session. So that can help us further down the road with the analysis. And we can name that new column we are going to create in a data set like I don't know, unique session ID. So this way we showed how we can delete columns, we can remove duplicate rows, we can delete rows where some value is missing, we can keep rows where with some specific value in columns, and we can actually create new columns combining existing columns and calculating values. So we can also enrich our dataset by using case statement, so that we can convert, for example, a specific numeric values into a text string describing those values. So let us create a new column that will contain a description of action codes. We'll have 9 action codes, so we'll add 8 conditions to existing one, and we will define for each value from 0 to 9 descriptions of the value. So it will take some time to type it in. Great, so now we finished adding, and we can create new step in our recipe. So we have 8 case conditions on e-commerce action type that will create a new column. Okay, so we can rename column. Instead of column 1, we can call it e-commerce action label. Great. Okay, we re-added to our recipe. Great, and now we are creating a new column that will have a description of each e-commerce action type. We can also add a new calculated column. So total transaction revenue is multiplied by 10 to the power of 6. So let us calculate a new column that we will divide total transaction revenue with 10 to the power of 6 to get correct value. So we have to use a custom formula to generate a new column. So, okay. So here we have to enter a formula that will be divide column and we have to name a new column, new calculated column. So let's name it total transaction revenue 1. Great. So now we are almost finished with our recipe. We can convert type of a new calculated column to decimal. So now we prepared our recipe that we will use to wrangle initial data set in BigQuery, and we can start a new job that will get all the data from BigQuery and transform it according to our recipe and store it. So we'll run 2 jobs. One will store it as a CSV file in a default storage account, and the other will store it in a new BigQuery table. So let's go to flows and let's start no pipeline. Okay, so we are running a job to prepare data and store it as a CSV file to storage account. And run job. Okay, now it will take some time. Usually it takes a few minutes or hours depending on size of the data set. And let us now select another uh, location for our data. So we'll run a new job that will export data into BigQuery dataset. So let us change output destination, and we can see now we have BigQuery as our destination. So it will take a while, and afterwards we can do analysis of a table in BigQuery to see what we got. Uh, One thing to mention is that Dataprep is charged based on time per virtual CPU. So basically, we'll look when transformation is finished, how much it would cost us to run this transformation job. So here we can go again through our recipe. We have 10 steps. Okay, jobs should be finished fairly soon. Now we can schedule flow. Let us do it immediately. We could go and see whether our recipe is okay or not, but let us schedule a flow that will take data from BigQuery and produce a new table in BigQuery. So we'll set it to run every Saturday at 3 a.m. Great. Now we basically scheduled our transformation to take place weekly at Saturday 3 a.m. Okay, so now we have both jobs finished. They took around 7 minutes. Let us see the data within BigQuery table. So we can also get more information about length of execution and how much vCPU we used. So okay, now we see new table was created, revenue reporting. We can see size of the table, and we can preview data we have within the table. So we see unique session ID and all the transformations we did within the new table. So resulting table has around 6,000 rows, and the original table was 57,000 rows. Um, Yeah, and it has of course much smaller size. Yeah, so let us look uh, whether everything is here. Yeah, we see e-commerce action labels. Okay, and now let us see how much time we spent. So it's around 6 minutes 41 seconds, and we spent 0.07 vCPU hours. So that's the value we would be using to calculate the cost of this transformation. Okay, so thank you very much for watching this. I hope you find it useful. If you would like to get more information or work with us on your big data projects, please contact us at Adrian.